Good day. Welcome to Words of Wisdom. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm just looking at this weather outside and it's like, oh, dreadful. But you know what? I managed to do a beautiful walk. It was a little bit just fine rain on my face, which was lovely. I was out in nature. I was listening to affirmations. I was walking along and just listening to myself. A couple of things running around in my head, you know, and it was quite nice to be able to do that. And I came back and I just thought, right, it's time to do my reading before I go out into the rain again and sort out ponies. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, I was thinking about that and I just came and I sat down, and this morning I was listening to a lady on TEDx talking about Tantra practice, and I thought that's very interesting, and it's really very much about feeling into the body. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I had a conversation, yesterday morning with my Qigong practitioner. And you know, obviously Qigong is flow of energy through the body and how the different points of the body connect to different instruments and elements. And I just think it's very interesting that, like, when I go out into nature, I want to ground myself. I love to touch a tree. I love to look at the branches and the leaves, if there are leaves. And I love to look at the animals and the birds and the bees and the insects and whatever else is around. You know, it's that visual feeling that puts something into your body when you're feeling it. And it's very lovely when you have those feelings and you can connect with your body. So the physical body is very important as our vessel, and we really do need to make sure we look after our physical body. And that's something that I have neglected. And I was having this conversation with my friend last night. My body, because I've had injuries and I haven't been doing as much exercise or walking, and my son at the moment is very much going through that because he is very active, gym and jiu-jitsu and football, and he's got this knee injury and he can do none of it. So he's got a sore throat and cough. His body has just sort of shut down on him a little bit. But we have to recognize when that happens, like I had to for nearly 2 weeks with my foot. I couldn't go walking. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't see horses. I was literally trying to be mindful of my body and its healing that it needed. And that is something we've got to remember. Mind, body, soul, the three elements, mind, body, and soul. So you've got to be very much a part of each and every one, because everything is all connected. And so if you're not looking after yourself physically, chances are, as much as you'll try and hide it, maybe your emotional value, emotional center won't be very strong. And mentally, there might be quite a lot going on. You could be overthinking things. You could be, you could have trouble with with sleeping, with all sorts of things. Your mind being very overactive. And you start to become unbalanced. So we definitely, this is where I'm going with this. I don't even know, but I'm talking to you. We will see. I wanted to show you something as well. I did my little Christmas table today. Look, we have our little robin and we have our little Father Christmas on our beautiful table. So that's so lovely. I feel a little Christmassy coming on. I haven't decorated my house yet. I always leave it like about 10 days before, because I think that I was told it's luck, 10 days before and 10 days after the Christmas period. So next weekend. Anyway, I don't have anything else really to give you or read to you other than what I was just sort of discussing and thinking about. I do feel like the fairy cards have come out. They want to come with us. They've been on the table. They want to give us some guidance today, which is wonderful and beautiful. We also, of course, have alongside them our beautiful Spirit Song tarot cards, all with the animals and what have you. Very lovely. And we have got Sacred Traveler with us today. And we also have our little guide deck by Angel Skog, which I absolutely adore. as guidance as well today. So that's what we've got so far. Oh, there's a book there. Okay. So that's what I've got so far on our table. Right, so let me read to you before we make a start in our guidance. And I thought what we'll do is we'll ask for guidance for this week. We're at the end of the weekend. We're ready to start making plans. I don't know about you, but I do start kind of thinking about my week ahead and what I've got that planned, when I really should be just in the now. And sometimes that's what I mean by really being in your physical body, being in the now. Okay, so we've got our calendar, and today it says the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And that is so true, because I love what I do. I love what I do with you guys every day. If I can, I'm sitting at this table and I just love this. I really just, my happy place. But I also have another happy place when I go into work, because I love seeing my students and I love doing what I do. I love my job. I love the program. I love everything about it. So this week, midweek, we've got a bit of a big event, and there is a little bit of a shadow over it for me that I have got to get through. And it is just something that I have to deal with. And I have to really find, I think, the lesson to overcome or integrate the shadow in some way within myself. I can't really talk about it to you guys, but all I can say is that when you are presented with something that you know has got this sort of this feel, this shadow about it, something that I've put in place. I know it's there because of me, and I've got to somehow integrate that. I've got to change that. I've got to overcome it. I've got to learn the lesson from it. All of these sort of things. It just feels like it's in the middle of the week and it's that pivotal point. So I'm going to have to just ask for guidance and help for that with my guides. And I think I will get through it, probably. I know I will. But, you know, it's something similar to that sort of feel. But, you know, when you do great work, it's because you love what you do and you have that passion and feel for it. And that's what I was sort of saying, you know, once you have that passion and feel for your body, for your spiritual journey, for yourself, for who you've become, for where you're going, for a job, for a goal, for a person, it's very easy. It should be easy. It should be very natural. It shouldn't be a difficult ask. So I think that's really what we're saying, is if that's the case, you know it's right, don't you? The happier you are, the more beautiful you become. And that is true. That is true as well, because, well, why wouldn't you? You know, why wouldn't you become more beautiful? All right, my beauties, let's start. Let's ask then for our guidance, please, Spirit, from our beautiful our fairies guidebook, our fairy oracle. If you could please give us guidance for this week to come, for me and for whomever else needs to hear this. And that's all I set the intention for. Whoever needs to hear this will come across it. And if you have never seen me before, welcome. Thank you for joining me. And if you do watch me on the regular, you know how this works. All right, let's go. Let's ask then, please, fairies, my beautiful fae. And actually, I want to share something with you. And you might think I'm a bit cray-cray when I say this. But I have got, let me just show you quickly, this little thing that's in this pot with my feathers. Okay. And this morning, I was lying in bed. And it was all horrible outside. And I was looking out the window. And I noticed that little tinsel bush or whatever it is, all open like that. And it's the first time I've noticed it being like that, because it kind of didn't come as open, but it was also wiggling away, as if someone was blowing on it. I thought, well, that's very interesting. So for me, I felt like the fae, there's a fairy around here that lives around here, I think, somewhere, and has sort of taken up residence by my magic table. So we have got fairy spotting. It's the card that's come out. I just saw this. I swear to God, I didn't see it before I told you that story. So that is just so funny. Okay, fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. Oh my goodness me, that's so funny. It said that seeing is believing, but in fact the opposite is true. It's believing is seeing. And honestly, that's exactly what I believed when I looked at my table this morning, and I just thought, I've got Tinkerbell over here. I didn't have the snowman and the robin up by then because I only put them up afterwards. But there's all my little things and what have you, and there's crystals on the table and my cards, and I just thought that's really interesting that was happening. And I was trying to work out whether there was a breeze coming in through my window somewhere. So go fairy spotting, my friends, but the message here very strongly is believing is seeing, and it could be that you have not had any tangible, and that's something that we really like to feel, don't we? So during this week now, try and really think about, I believe so strongly, I don't need to see. And if I do, when I believe as strongly as I would, that seeing will come. You'll be almost like it will be like an aha, you'll be awakened to it. It's very amazing when it does happen, All right, okay, we've got some magical blessings on the way. Whatever you're going through, you're being assisted by magical fairy blessings. And the fairies say you can bless others too. So because I told you that story, you probably think, right, I'm switching this woman off. Or you might be thinking, you know what? I didn't know anyone else thought as I did, and this is lovely. So whatever the case might be, I hope it's helped you to recognize that we do very much have magical blessings. And I walk through my woods today really putting a protection spell in my mind and out loud and saying I want this woods protected from people because someone's driven around there with a vehicle and just ruined the pathways and what have you. I know it's these people from the natural resources people, but at the end of the day, they're not really being very mindful of our pathways and things like that, and I don't like that. And I was like, right, I'm going to put a spell on this player, protection, so this absolutely can't keep happening. So magical blessings, put your magic is all around right now. I really strongly feel that, I have to say. And we've got inspiration. Be prepared, as you'll soon receive a visit from the fairy of inspiration. Come dusk or dawn, she can call at any time. So that's a very beautiful card as well. So really trust in the magic right now. Trust that, and also when we think about when we were children, often that inner child, that purity and innocence and the belief. I remember hearing my son I do believe in fairies. I do believe in fairies. And he'd been watching Peter Pan. And I just thought that is the most beautiful thing I have ever heard. And I'll never forget it. I haven't reminded him of it. He is like a fully grown 28-year-old man now, but he's still got very much a Peter Pan about him anyway, to be honest. And he really relates to children and he looks after children and they love him. And I just think that that Peter Pan essence within him that children respond to. So that inner child, don't let that go. Find your inner child right now, I'm hearing. And it's a beautiful, wondrous thing when we think about fairies. They bring out that sort of Tinkerbell sort of feel. And I love Tinkerbell. So I've got her on my table here. I brought her all the way from Disney. And she sits on my table quite happily looking at me with a smile whenever I'm doing my readings. So yes, fairy spotting, magical blessings and inspiration. Anything else, please, my beautiful fairies, for this week ahead? So magical blessings coming to you this week. So maybe trust if you're feeling that there's maybe something that, is a bit scary. Like I said, that midweek for me is going to be a bit of a test. Perhaps you can, just really trust that your fairies have got your back. Angels have got your back. Fairies and angels work very closely together as well. So light, the fairy queen of light, comes to shed love and light onto your current situation and to remind you that light can penetrate the darkness. So there you are, that beautiful, beautiful Look at that with the rainbows. And if you've been seeing rainbows, let this be your link. Definitely you're here to hear this. That has made my heart sing, honestly, because that's really what I needed to hear. Magical gateway, it takes trust and courage to venture into the unknown, yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. All right, so they told me to look underneath, so I'm going to take this card as well. So really, honestly, there is a magical gateway opening now. My ear's itchy, so that is true. And your fairy queen, the beautiful, ask for help. If you need help in anything this week, trust that there's a lot of magic that is happening. And by you believing is where you will be seeing that change or whatever it might be, whatever might come for you. So trust in that light magical gateway is absolutely happening, and ask for help. Ask for help. Spirit is saying, I've got to take that card as well. Ask for help. Okay, new beginnings. They're all just coming out right now. So new beginnings, absolutely beautiful. Okay, right. So I'm going to just get us the book as well and just sort of see. I'd like to go to the light one where we saw the fairy queen of light. Love and light and all things bright will remove your fears in the darkest night. This is the message direct from the fairy queen of light. Light is your protection. It casts away any shadows, and wherever it shines, the truth will ultimately be revealed. The fairy queen of light will come to remind you that you are light. She stands in the dark forest, yet her light travels far, so she can find her way clearly through the darkness. And it was very funny how she stands in that dark forest. And I walked through my woods today, and I was like really feeling like I wanted to just protect those beautiful woods and all the fairies and animals and everything that live there, you know. It's an instinctive thing to be attracted to light. When you shine yours, it will attract others like moths to flame. Fairy light is a different quality to other light. It contains magical particles that not only expose the truth, but also reveal the beauty of a situation and the lesson to receive from it. So here we go. What did I say? My midweek. Trust me when I say I'll be telling you about it after the fact. Okay, there's nothing harsh about this healing and revealing light. The fairy queen of light shines her light gently and peacefully, but persistently too, until only the truth remains. She reminds us that when we can face the darkness and the shadow side of ourselves without fear, the light can remain as a permanent part of our seeing and our experience in life. And we have the magical gateway. The fairies are asking you to step through the fairy door and into their world of magic and wonder. They're telling you that fairy tales are real and that you're never too old to believe in fairies. There we go. Perhaps you've been thinking about embarking on the fairy path. If you're using this deck, the chances are you already have more than a passing interest in the ways of the fae. If so, now's the time to walk through the fairy door and fully embrace your magical fairy self. The golden key to this fairy door resides inside your heart. So it's important to know that once you step through this magical gateway, your life will be changed. You'll see and feel nature in a deeper way. I mean, that is so true. You'll feel connected to plants and trees and flowers and develop a deeper compassion for all living things. You might even find yourself becoming vegan or vegetarian if you're not already. Your interest in conservation and the environment could also be heightened. These are all traits of someone who has ventured through the fairy door, so consider this carefully. Once you've passed through the door, prepare for more magic and joy to enter your life, knowing that you're always safe and protected and loved. That is beautiful. And then ask for help. There are times in our lives when we need celestial assistance. Angels are omnipresent, non-denominational beings who can be called upon for help by anyone at any time. Perhaps you're very independent and feel that you can sort out everything and anything on your own without help. But fairies too are generally self-sufficient creatures and can usually deal with any challenges that might arise. But on occasion, even the fairies need a little divine intervention, and they may ask for angelic helping hands. This card may be telling you that an angelic boost would be beneficial for you or someone you know at this time. So with this card, the fairies are encouraging you to call on your personal guardian angel to help you through any tricky situation you may be experiencing. The fairies will also sprinkle some fairy dust on you to give you some cheer and joy during challenging times, or just for a fairy boost. Remember, there are no rules, and the angels are happy to work with fairies and humans alike when it's for the highest good of all. That is beautiful. And of course, we had new beginnings. So this is a new thing. This maybe that you've never thought about this. Maybe you've never come across something like this. But if you have been, being called to it, then perhaps there is something here. It might just be opening up your inner child and your remembrance. My grandmother taught me about fairies, and obviously, and I've met other sort of people that are in the fae, and it's just been around me, and now I'm using, as I said, these cards, and I feel very much supported by the fae, and I do think I've got someone here that's sitting at my table with me, so that's very beautiful. All right, so we have got that covered off, and now we will let us ask for this little guide deck to give us maybe some lovely guidance for this week, please. These magical blessings that are coming through. New beginning, absolutely. This card keeps coming out, and we just had it with the fairy cards as well. So definitely it's a new beginning. How interesting. How beautiful. Okay, beautiful. Okay, anything else? Anything else? No, that's it. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. All right, so we had new beginnings coming out. Okay, so the same with our beautiful fairy cards. Just to prove to you, new beginnings as well. So we'll put this card down on the table alongside this one. So new beginning. So, it could be a birth, but this says new beginning. So it's really about your new beginning right now. And I really love that. We've also got the key that's come out. And it's so beautiful that here in the magical gateway, she is holding the key. And there you had the key, all the knowledge. And there is a moon there as well. Okay, so all of the knowledge that you have, you're ready. You can step through this magical gateway right now. You have the key. You have the knowledge. You are being blessed with this by the fae. Okay, so that's very beautiful. Also, we've got the transition card with the butterfly. Okay, and we do know that's exactly what this light is, to shed light into your current situation, the transition period, having that inspiration to be able to do that. It's all about that transition period right now. And we know we've been talking about that a little bit in these previous readings. We're at the end of this year. It's the 12th month. It's 12th zodiac sign. It's about going forward now into this new chapter, new beginning, new feeling, new year. And, just much like a butterfly that sort of comes out, spreads their wings and flies, you are at that stage now. You are ready for this next chapter, this next stage. And we have motivation. So motivation is a little bit like inspiration, really, being motivated. This little fairy will, be prepared to receive a visit from the fairy of inspiration. And that could really motivate you forward as part of this transition, really into this new beginning. And this, this magical gateway, this motivation. Motivation is something that, we really do when we, the only way to do great work is to do what you love. And that really is, that's your motivator, isn't it? Love. So consider how you're feeling about things and, really call on that heart of yours to guide you, because love is a great motivator. And that magical gateway is open for you right now. And you have everything you need to be able to, go through to this next sort of stage. Let me read the key for you. Yeah, you're ready for the next step to open a new door. Magical gateway you're opening with that key. Within you, be sure to tap into your inner wisdom and guidance. It's time to expand your life and move to your next stage. Transition. Transition, not transformation. You're going through a transition. Something is shifting, changing in your life. This card tells you not to resist what's going on. So that kind of makes me think about the believing is seeing. You've got to have faith and belief in this. You've got to trust, because you might not see at the minute. The unknown is the unknown. It's knowing that there is the unknown. It's that knowing. So you are going through this transition. It's a natural part of your path. Go with the flow of change and let life unfold before you. Everything is going to be fine. Motivation, keep going for things that you want. Find ways to keep yourself inspired. Inspiration. So the fairies are helping you with that. Okay? But also rest and take care of yourself. Remember to enjoy the journey. So, being in this belief is going to be so easy. And this is what I was kind of trying to say to you guys, the idea of just having this knowing of belief, and knowing that you are on this path and it's unfolding. The energy is coming. Go with that flow and just look to nature, how nature does the same thing, maybe as your guidance here. You don't need to control anything. The seeds will grow. Things will change. Spring will come. Seasons change. The year will move forward. Time will move forward. Things happen, and you don't need to control any of it. It's on your path. It will naturally allow you. So just stay in your belief, in your now. Concentrate in your now, and you really will see how that new beginning will come about. And that's so beautiful to think of. All right, so our beautiful Sacred Traveler. Did I get my Sacred Traveler cards? Let's have a little look. There they are. I'm in the book, not the cards. I've got the cards. Okay, right, so our Sacred Traveler, as guidance for next week, please, based on this new beginning and transition. Take your first step. Begin now. Absolutely. Jump straight out on top of new beginning and key. And our beautiful, there it is, light. So take your first step. So if you've been hesitating about anything, it's about taking that first step. As much as I want to try and run away from the midweek scenario, there's a narrow path. Tread thoughtfully. Okay, so it's no harm in being thoughtful about things. We're not suggesting to be reckless. I mean, if you feel like you want to sell up everything, get in your car and just drive, then that's up to you. And land somewhere. But honestly, it's not about being reckless. Transition takes what it takes. Time, it takes its time. What it takes is time when you're ready. And if you find you're wobbling or you're hesitating, you can ask for help and guidance. But tread thoughtfully in that, It's that's an important part of this. Reaching your destination, your light is shining brightly. Gosh, that's on top of light as well, from our beautiful fairies. Stay focused, hold the course. Stay focused, hold the course. So you're reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. And that came out on top of our beautiful fairy Queen of Light. So you know, she says she is here to shed light and love into your current situation, to remind you that light can penetrate the darkness. Go deep, explore your roots. Okay, you're at this destination point. Your light is shining brightly right now. Trust in that. Trust that people are only wanting to see that in you. Take that first step. You know, you might not really recognize it right now, but it is there for you to be able to. You've done the work. You know, you're not being punished in any way. Right, reaching your destination. All your hard work and effort is paying off. Glory, triumph, success are yours. If you've given your power away, now is the time to reclaim it. It's time to stand in your own light. A destination is less of a place, but more of a new way of seeing the world. Your dreams are moving to fruition. If you have any incomplete projects or unresolved relationship, this is the time to complete them. This is an important part of your reaching your destination. Take time to celebrate and acknowledge the successes in your life. The voyage was long. The Sacred Traveler wants you to know the voyage is long and there were many adventures along the way. But as you trek to reach the destination, there's a feeling of joy and celebration. It's important to stop and rest. Congratulate yourself for who you are and for what you have done. The traveler forgives those who, on the voyage, were less than honorable. Release any feelings of resentment, fear, and sadness that you may have gathered along the road. You've reached your goal. Let everything else go. You're a majestic being who can bring light into the hearts of others. Celebrate and honor yourself. You are so worth it. Okay, so there we are. Take your first step. Off you go. We're ready. We're ready for our new beginning. This transition period, our light is shining. We are ready. I keep hearing, we are ready. We are ready. That's beautiful. All right, let's have a little look then at our beautiful Spirit Song Tarot to confirm. Reaching your destination. Please give us guidance for that. And also, if you look on here, this beautiful card, it's got a beautiful blue butterfly in it, which is exactly like this one. Well, that's a bit turquoisey, but still blue butterfly. Very beautiful. And here we've got blue butterflies as well in our beautiful new beginnings. So you might see a blue butterfly as confirmation of this reading. That would be very beautiful. Right, 5 of Acorns, challenge and growth. That jumped out on top of your light is shining brightly in new beginnings. Okay, so challenge and growth. You've got here this transition. I went on the bloomin' rant about the blue butterfly. This card is confirming the growth that you have achieved. You know, it's a beautiful opportunity. I feel like that's, you know, we're at that destination point now. 5 of Acorns. Where is it? Can't see my acorns. Feathers, shells, acorns. Graceful Leopard is a problem solver, and she utilizes her shape-shifting abilities to enhance her personal power. She's here to help you shift into your own innate power so that you may pursue your goals with passion and fight for what you believe in. And that's exactly what we saw. Believing is seeing. So you can fight for whatever this is that you need to be doing. Take that first step. Remember, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you no longer love it, it's okay. At one point you did, but it's okay not to anymore. And it's the same as I've had this conversation with my children about, you know, friends that they no longer want to be around for various different reasons. It's okay. You don't have to hold on to people. People can come and go out of your life. When you make space, you allow other opportunities to come into your life. In the midst of conflict, do not allow opposition to keep you from moving ahead in your endeavor. By the same token, be open to the views of others. Don't be afraid to ask questions in order to clarify a situation. With challenge comes spiritual growth. As you weather the storm, focus on new strategy. Seek deeper clarity and trust in yourself and defend your beliefs. Contend with the matter in the spirit of action and in the knowingness that challenges will be overcome. So keywords are challenge, growth, conflict, brainstorming, adrenaline, tension, opposing energies. So tread thoughtfully. Possibly there's going to be, in this sort of transition period, you're going to feel very much like someone might, maybe I'm just being drawn to this sort of stack of books, challenge your intellect or challenge your knowing or knowledge. And sometimes we can't explain it. I can't always explain what I know, which is, it can be really difficult and quite frustrating sometimes, but it's because I accept that, you know, from an awakening point of view, things that I know are from past lives. It's an awakening, and things that I seem to sort of be aware of, but I can't explain how I'm aware of it, and things that I am aware of now when I make connections in the matrix, it's like, wow, how did I do that? But it's because of, it's this innate inner knowledge, and our subconscious, don't forget, takes a lot in that we don't consciously use until sometimes it pops up and we think, well, how did I know that? So it's a very real, you know, it's about that growth, you know. Shapeshifter is what this card was saying. You know, you just have changed so much, and alongside that change comes this growth. Okay. Oh, okay. Reaching your destination. Take your first step. Begin now. Magical blessings. Fairy spotting. All right. Okay, so let's have a little look. This one jumped over on top of fairy spotting. 6 of Acorns, success and triumph. Okay, beautiful. Success and triumph. We've also got 3 of Crystals. Our beautiful collaboration, productivity. Okay, you know, asking for help. The collaboration and productivity from the Fae, from your angel, from your guides, from your people, from your soul tribe. You know, you've got everything that you need. And 4 of Shelves, soul searching and reevaluation. So that can be very much part of this transition. We start to really soul search and reevaluate ourselves. You know, because otherwise, if you didn't, you wouldn't be reminded of how far you've come, and you wouldn't be reminded of how strong you are and courageous you are. So keywords is contemplation, meditation, soul searching. So innovative at using new approaches to solve problems. Crane is here to help you renew your optimism, that motivation, the optimism. And like I said to you, it's okay if you don't like your job anymore. Go and find something that you love to do. You know, honestly, there's that true saying, what is that? If you are doing something that you love every day, it isn't called work, is it? It's just, you just love being you, and you just love doing what you want to do. So when you embrace something that you feel passionate about, you'll soon find yourself motivated into action. And that was actually here on there. So motivation. And the Fairy of Inspiration talked about it as well. You are going to be motivated into action. I know that. And it's whether you choose to do it, of course, but I do believe you're ready. You can take that first step. It's all about this new beginning for you. Rest and meditation will deliver a fresh mindset. Take this time to reflect and regroup and redirect your energy. 3 of Crystals. Collaboration, productivity, planning, study, recognition, growth, skill. So Honeybee makes monumental progress by engaging in the strength of teamwork. Honeybee is here to guide you in pulling together with those who have like minds. When forces are joined, development is heightened, and combined efforts will fortify your success. And that's what I said to you. It's okay to let people out of your life, especially in this transition period, because they're not going to help you in your new beginning. New people, even people from the past coming back, surprisingly, will be able to help you in your new progress. So trust in that collaboration, trust in you know, being guided to have that help. Angels will, you know, ask for help card says exactly that in this transition period. And then the Six of Acorns. Avoid forcing situations, as this will only create further setbacks. Allow things to develop by their own accord. Success and triumph. It was in the reverse on top of fairy spotting. So I wanted to have a look at that reverse message. And I think that's very important, because sometimes we can have a bit of frustration, and sometimes we can have an impatience and I did mention that about, you know, we can't control things. We must leave things for the good of the natural flow, the natural process. Okay, that's why I have this thing about my woods and these people chopping down trees, and I just feel like, no, leave nature to take care. Nature does a wondrous job. We definitely don't need to help in any way, shape or form. Intuition and inspiration, this cut too, it fell in half with our little frog. So you will get this inspiration, you will get this guidance, definitely going forward for you. Trust in it, trust in that belief. So my friends, that is your guidance for next week. You know, it is our transition period. Value it. Okay, explore your roots. Look, rest, have a good balance, I think, of work and rest. I kind of started talking about the idea of, you know, our minds, bodies, soul, that physical. I said, you know, it can be very frustrating when you can't go to the gym and you can't keep moving and you can't, and that sitting down and having to really evaluate and think about things can be quite daunting for a lot of people. But you need to do it. You need to, as part of this transition for your new beginning. Okay, so tread thoughtfully. Okay, look after yourselves and have a very wonderful, wonderful week. Allow the flow of energy. See you soon.